Hi everyone, welcome to this summary lesson on beginners commands. Now in this lesson you are going to need your coding cards to participate, so make sure that you have them out and ready to go. Hopefully you've also had a look through the first 3 elements of this course, which was looking at the give command, the teleport command, and the effect command. And on top of that, you've been able to follow along with those tutorials, jump into the Minecraft training world and have a go yourself. We're now going to have a little bit of a review or a summary of what we've learned so far. Now, the way in which this will work is essentially I'm going to give you a kind of series of questions or challenges, and you need to use your cards in front of you to solve or find the answer. At any time that you need more time to find that answer with those correct cards, you just need to press pause and then hit play when you're ready to go. So let's jump into it. And first, we're going to review those 3 commands. So using your coding cards, I want you to find the 4 cards that make up the teleport command. So what 4 cards in the correct order make up the teleport command? Okay, let's have a look and see how you went. So always starting with the /TP. And in this course, that is our then card, because remember that we're building algorithms. So we've currently learned about triggers, which are our ifs statements. And then our commands are our then statements. So we can create an if and then, which creates our algorithm. You then needed the player or target card, you needed a position card, and a facing card. Now, the teleport, or basically to teleport, you need to say who you're going to teleport. Most of the time, we just use nearest player, but you could specify something in a particular game, or someone, or a random player, or you could teleport everyone. You then need to tell the game the position that you want them to teleport in. So using those coordinates, the X, Y, and Z coordinate. Our X and Y is what we know is kind of our horizontal and our up and down, but Minecraft is a 3-dimensional game, so it needs a 3rd-dimensional plane, and that's what our Z is there for. Then it is an optional card, but it's always good to use, which is the facing card. That's where we place the same coordinates again, but we change one to either a positive or negative value, depending which way we're facing. Because sometimes when we teleport people in our game, we want them to be looking at something so they don't need to turn around and find where they need to go. Just builds out really nice, clean gameplay. Okay, let's try again. So using your coding cards, place them in the correct order to show the give command. All right, let's see how you went. So starting with our then card again, but it's /give, our player target card, the item name, followed by the amount. So just like before, we need to know who we're giving it to. We need to know what we're going to give them. So that's our inventory item. And again, an optional card is you can also specify the amount. Now, if you don't use this one, if you don't put anything in for the amount, it will just default to 1. But if you want to give someone 3 items, you need to write 3. Let's have a look at the next one. All right, so using your cards, show what the effect command looks like. Okay, let's see it. So /effect, followed by the target or the player, followed by the effect ID, then the amount of time, and the amplifier. So this is our longest one so far. So just like the last 2, we need to know who the effect is going to apply to. We need to know which effect that we're going to use. As you would have learned, there's lots of different effects, and that's all going to depend on your gameplay. So we need to choose that one. Then once we've chosen it, we need to tell the game, well, how long do you want the effect to last for? and then the amplifier. So how strong do you want the effects of that to apply? All right, good work. Let's now have a look at unpacking algorithms. So basically, as we've gone through before, we always start off with our if and our then. So our if is our triggers, so something like a button, and if that's pressed. Our then is something like our give command, and that is what we're going to give them. So in this case, it reads, if a button is pressed, then give, and then we have to decide on the rest and how we want it to work. So something I kind of want you to think about while we're going through this is that if you were to create a statement with a different if card and explain how that would apply to a different gaming scenario, sometimes a button isn't always what we need. And then the same again with our then. We have to make those decisions about those last three cards. We need to think to ourselves, well, what item do we want to give them? We don't want to kind of just give our players meaningless items. We want to give them something that gives them an advantage or disadvantage in the game. We need to think about who's going to get it. Is it just the player who's been successful, or is it a team game and maybe just one person has to get to the button to press it and then everyone gets an item? And then also, do they just need one or do they need multiple of them to continue? So let's have a look. I want to see if you can place your cards in the correct order based on the following algorithm. So it says, if a lever is pulled, then give the nearest player an apple times 10. So use your coding cards to solve that one. Remember, press pause at any time or come back to this if you need to see the statement. Okay, let's see how we went. So, very first one, if a lever is pulled, then give, and then we specify the nearest player. The item name or the inventory name in this case is apples, and then the amount is 10. Let's try it again. So using your cards, what would this one look like? If a button is pressed, then teleport the nearest player to 493311116. Okay, let's have a look. So the very first part there, if a button is pressed, so we use our button card. Then TP, so teleport is TP. The player target card, in this case, we're going to use the nearest player. And then the position that they're going to be teleported to. Now, don't put those cards away just yet. Have a look at this one. It's very similar. But what's different? I'm not going to read this one to you. What's different about it? What do you need to add? Okay, so everything else stayed the same, except we added in that optional card where we said that they needed to be facing 494321117. Let's have a look at this statement. If a player places a redstone torch, then give the nearest player the effect of water breathing for 10 seconds, and then amplify that to 15. All right, have a go, use your coding cards, and show what that looks like. All right, let's have a look how you went. So, if a redstone torch is positioned, then apply the effect to the nearest player. And in this case, the effect ID is going to be water breathing. And we would write that as water underscore breathing. Time is 10 seconds. We amplify it to 15. All right, let's have a look at how we might sort our algorithms. So getting your cards ready, have a look at this. It's all jumbled up. It's all in the wrong order. So before we go to the pause screen, you might yourself want to pause the video so you can see that. But then we're going to have a look and see what the answer is. So find those 5 cards, but put them in the right order. Okay, let's see how you went. So, very first one, always starting with an if. So if the lever is pulled, then give the nearest player the item or the inventory item, and then the amount. Now, the amount is optional. Remember, if we don't include it, they just get 1. Okay, let's have a go at this one. It's in the wrong order. Place it in the right order for me. All right, let's see how you go. So always starting with that trigger. In this case, the trigger is the button. Then we're going to teleport the player to an XYZ position. We're also going to use that optional card this time and specify which way they would be facing. Have a look at this one. What's the correct order that this needs to go in? Okay, so the first one is in the right place. So if we stand on or we activate a pressure pad or pressure plate, we then apply the effect command to the nearest player, specifying the effect that it's going to be, how long it's going to last for, and what it's going to be amplified to. All right, good work. Now, there's some errors in these ones. So I want you to find where the errors are. So what's wrong with this algorithm? Identify the problem. I want you to use your coding cards to show the correct algorithm. So something's wrong with this one. So take your time and pause if you need to find where the problem is. All right, hopefully you got it. Now at the moment, it reads, if a lever is pulled, give the item to the player and the amount. All the right cards are there. The problem is they're just around the wrong way. So we must specify first who's going to get it and what they're going to get. Let's have another go. So I'll read this one to you. Currently says, then teleport the nearest player to the XYZ position facing an XYZ position if a redstone block is placed. Something about that doesn't quite make it a proper algorithm. How would you fix it? All right. Hopefully you picked up on it. It's just that the if needs to be at the beginning. So for our algorithm to be successful, it must be if and followed by a then. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So something's not quite right. What do we need to fix? So use your cards, put and show the correct algorithm. All right, hopefully you picked up on it. It was just that end, that it needs to be the amplifier at the end. Okay, good work. So when this video finishes, you've got 3 more videos underneath it. And these are just gaming scenarios. So what you do is you watch them, you watch the gaming scenarios, and then you press pause. And then you get your cards out. If you need to watch them back, that's fine. You can just rewind. And then I want you to use your cards to explain what is happening in that actual gaming scenario. And then if you want to keep watching, you can then see how that actual gaming scenario was built. So can give you some potential future ideas. When you've done those 3, you then have your quick knowledge check to do, where you're going to be given a few questions to just check in to see how you're going. All right, so you've got 4 more tasks to do, and then it's time to move on to the intermediate section. We'll see you soon.